And what I'm going to do is walk y'all through the seat post first, and then we're going to go through the stems. So we're going to do like the life of the product. And that'll make more sense because sometimes when I do tours and I go like first operation seat post, second operation stem, and then we do this, everybody's like, so anyway, we're just going to go straight back to raw materials.
Do y'all still try to break something at the end?
We might. We have stuff that's in process right now. So.
Hey girls, you just need to settle
I shouldn't have a group this big, so if y'all can do one thing for me, if you're under the age of, let's say 16, take your hands like this, put them like this. And so when you're by the machines, keep your hands like that. And for the adults, do the same. So first I'm going to start y'all out. This is what our seat posts start out as, and we'll pass these around. So this is the seat post on the bicycle. Y'all pass that around. So back in the day, I guess it was 1996, I'm going to say, Ronnie Thomson, his daughter, came back from college, and she was on the cycling team. She had a seat post that broke, and essentially Ronnie, being a machinist, said, hey, I can make you one. He made her one. It did not break, and the idea behind that was it was made out of a solid piece of aluminum. So we cut these seat posts out of that extrusion shape, turn the outer diameter, put holes in it, and go from there. And we've been making these one-piece seat posts for almost 20 years now. So that's kind of the short history behind it. So that's how they start out. Any questions so far? Yeah. You can see how fast heavy is all get out. But same thing, 7129 aluminum. That's for this and for 6,000. Yes, absolutely. You're going to get, it's about 25% stronger than, 6066 or 6061. So it's very good stuff. They've lived a long time ago. It originally started out as a bumper on a Ford car. And Ronnie Thomson found it, and because it anodized well, there we went.
It does anodize?
Yes. It can be bright dip. And that's what makes it look so good. So that's really cool.
Rent's like
process.
I was over there. We couldn't hear you.
Okay. So this is where this is the machine they usually run the stems on. We don't have anybody running it right now for whatever reason. But yeah, they turn it from that chunk.
So that chunk in, this is what comes out.
Yep. So this is your first operation out of two. They'll cut the rest of the holes and then the bores on the mill over there, which we'll go to next.
So it's all CNC.
You want to run Friday, Saturday, Sunday, right? He runs about, what is it, 25 or so an hour? Something like that. These are all CNC. We run 8 these on a tombstone at a time. So how these machines work is pretty cool. It's actually cutting something identical to that inside the machine while he's loading, unloading, and checking parts. So you never stop cutting. It's constantly cutting material. That's why we can turn out so many stems and ship so many stems. So these came from the seat post lathe over there that I just showed you. They get wheeled over here on carts like this, and then Ty cuts them, loads them, and goes from there. From here, I guess they get boxed up and then sent out to anodizing. They get sent to Pennsylvania to IMP Industrial Metal Plating. And they're the best in the business. They make, about 98% good parts. It's very hard to do with anodizing, especially this time. So anything we're doing. This one is around 750. It's a really cool. Whoa! Everybody check it out. That's the tool that's the one that does the bolt hole. So like where your steer tube band is, that's actually what cuts it out. So it'll fill up. They're going through these things. And it all depends on which machine and all that. So mine usually does aerospace stuff. But luckily he's good enough at his job that he can do other people's jobs, which is good. So we check every single seat post, and for example, these things are calibrated. We have a very precisely calibrated gauge here that'll measure it down to the tenth of a thousandth of an inch. Our tolerance on these seat posts is no bigger than nominal and no under a thousandth under nominal. So we're talking a thousandth of an inch is our range. They get very tight. You got a good one? Yeah, it's okay. We'll find out if this one is good. Usually when you start up the machine, you'll have a few bad parts. That's the ones that we scrap. We cleaned up the guy that was just running. But, let's watch him run real quick. This should take less than a minute, and we'll be there. So, DJ, you're being watched. Uh-oh. There we go. So this is all the work holding and the fixturing for these things. We all make in-house in our tool room. So the lathe is standard, you know, it's off the shelf. Everything inside it is all us. It's a proprietary thing that Ronnie Thomson designed, you know, yet again 20 years ago. And we make the same things when they wear out, making the same thing because they work so well. So this is our first pass that's cutting this profile. This, for example, is a 31/6 seat post. So that's actually what it's doing. You can't tell much, but it's cutting this profile right now. It's getting to the end, and you'll see the cutter go away from it and cut it out again. So this is the second pass. This is the second roughing pass. And then it's about to change tools and do a finish pass to get this final outer diameter that we want. So you can see it's changing tools, and now it's coming from the left side of the seat post to the right. It's not cutting off as much. It's cutting off about 15 thousandths of an inch on each side, but it's just about done. And that's about it. That's what it does. And this guy does. You do. Let's see. You. This guy does. Grant does. So this is a 31/6 seat post. These numbers up here correlate to your 31.6. Even we're all standard here, so we're not millimeters, we're inches. Your range here is 1,000th of an inch, and this is how close we're holding it. Hold on, I got it. So you know, from bottom to top, we're pretty darn close. This is what I call a really good seat post. DJ. So he can be loading and unloading while cutting. This is in particular 40 millimeter length downhill stem. We don't sell many in Georgia or Florida, but otherwise we sell a lot of them. So this is pretty cool. This is the machine that we use to run our face plates. All your face plates that are on our stems have been run on this machine. Along with seat post collars. Unfortunately, he's running direct mount, so not many of us use them, but seat post collars a couple months ago. This thing is made with a tolerance of 0.2 of a thousandth of an inch. Had to be that close. If I'm not that close, I have to do it again, and I have to be yelled at. So we make these all our tooling in-house again, and it's very precise how we make it because these things run so many parts. So I'll bend a seat post for y'all, and I hope that I do it the right way. We'll see. I hope you do too. So it's kind of cool. Let's see. I just tell the people how to do it, but we never actually do it. And that's the scary thing. So let's see if this works. That's it.
And so in the offset is, and I'll tell you guys this, most factory bikes come with a clamp system that is based on the rear approach. So the saddle actually
X4 stem. This is the one that we just came out with, started shipping a couple months ago. So this is our newest stem model released. So you can see it lasering. That's a CO2 laser. What it's actually doing is burning through the top layer of the anodizing, but it's not getting all the way through metal, which is kind of cool. So it's burning the anodizing rather than going through the metal, so you still have a completely sealed part. For stress corrosion, you know, when you sweat on your stem, think about what that does to aluminum. It eats. I'll make sure it's not too fat or not too skinny, because if these steer tube bands, which are right here, if they get too skinny, all of a sudden it gets very liable to crack. And a cracked stem means you crash, and then you burn, and you don't want to crash and burn. So we take this stuff very seriously and make sure these are just the right size as designed. So,
I inspect them very well for you guys.
yeah. This guy, I tell you, this guy has the best eyesight of anyone in the world, and that light right there, I don't know why, but it shows up every single detail. It's pretty cool. So
I pick out any visual imperfections or structural imperfections so that...
So as I saw y'all, the raw material comes in the door, it goes from the lathe to the machine behind you, goes out unionized and comes back. That's the elite. The masterpiece, we do two additional operations to. The first one, after it comes in the door, it's called a broaching operation. What we do is we open this up. We run a broach through it. And what a broach is, it's a nasty, nasty thing that's covered in grease. And they're obviously much smaller than this, but these things run down the center and cut that profile that you see here. See how this has got kind of like a double D shape? And we're cutting every single last gram out of it, which is pretty cool. So these are aerospace broaches in particular. Obviously this wouldn't cut the inside of this part very well. So that's kind of cool. Let's see. Now I'm going to take you all to the tool room and we'll go from there. So, I don't know, but it's an area that the tool makers use to make all our tools in-house. Everything that holds the parts that we have is made in-house. A lot of manufacturing companies farm that out. They send a print to somebody that comes back. Everything comes from upstairs in the engineering office. I walk down the stairs, hand the print to the guys. They make it, have it done in a few weeks, and it's ready to rock and roll. For example, this is what I call the Dash 1 headstock driver. So when the guy was loading the seat post in the lathe, cutting it, that was DJ. This is the thing that touches the seat post on the left side. So this is something we made in-house. This fits that inner profile and turns the gears on it. And you know, this is all proprietary stuff that we make. So that's pretty cool. Any questions about tooling?
So these guys have to do on analog to make the tools and let the CNC machines do their stuff.
Right.
So these guys basically work.
So this is our X2 stem. This is modeling you riding it. We're at 99,000 cycles. We started it yesterday after work. It probably won't break until after Monday. Often with a fatigue cycles like this, we start them on a Friday afternoon, you know, because this is annoying. When the guys that are assembling parts, we'll start this on Friday afternoon, and they may break on Tuesday or Wednesday. Close to a million bucks real quick. You hear the things going down, right? What this freaks out is how many pounds it's going down on the seat post. Well, it's actually the one on the bottom, but most seat posts, it can withstand about 800 pound force before it starts to bend. And if you consider how much do most cyclists weigh? 150, 200, 250 pounds. Right. You know, these things, it's amazing how much they'll take, and that's, you know, this is our, we check